Happy New Year! It's here. It's 2024, Marissa. And for all of you who are listening, we are so excited that you are hanging out with us.
I cannot believe it's 2024.
I know. 2023 went like that.
It feels like it still is 2019. Am I the only one who feels that? It's just like the last apparently 4 years now are just a total blur.
I can see that. I call it the COVID paradigm shift.
This has been the first New Year, though, that feels pretty normal, like pre-COVID normal.
That is true.
So I'm grateful for that. We're definitely like more back than we've ever been.
Yeah. The first few years it was like hectic.
Into the new year.
It's exciting. It's what I love about 2024 and especially the New Year's is like it's the reset. Everybody's resetting. Everybody's thinking, you know what? There's so much stuff that happened in the past.
Yeah.
The past is past. Let's move forward. And this year, what I'm really excited about is how we can be there for every single one of you who are listening.
Yes.
To help you achieve your goals for 2024.
Yeah.
And make it the most extraordinary year that you've ever had. That's what I'm all about. That's what we're super excited for this year. And today we're going to talk about some tips on how to help you crush your goals for 2024.
Yes, we can't wait. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Welcome to another episode of Focus on This, the most productive podcast on the internet. So you can banish distractions, get the right stuff done, and finally start loving Mondays. I'm Ken Freire here with Marissa Hyatt.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Hey, it is 2024. We're so excited to be here. Marissa, before we jump in, since 2024 is always a reset year, you want to do things bigger and better.
Yeah.
I have a little surprise for you.
Oh.
I know.
Right.
Nick knows about it. Some people at staff know about it.
I can't believe this is happening right now. I really thought this was later.
What's going on?
Well,
My heart
let's go.
just went skyrocketing. What's going on? Am I getting punked?
No. I just wanted to show you that like I'm all about trying to achieve my goals and do things the right way this year and like take it to the next level. So I wanted to show you something that I think everybody's going to be super proud of.
Oh gosh. Lord have mercy. What are we doing? No. No. Okay. For those of you listening, you can't see this. Ken has introduced a Yeti tumbler, rambler. We're calling them ramblers. Oh, it's
Rambler.
42
ounces. Like I said, bigger and better.
Wow.
I couldn't just do 40 ounces.
And a Yeti shirt on that has complete with the American flag. Wow.
Now, Ken's sort of
Are
bearing
you
the
going to be
lead
going like hunting this weekend?
You know, I was born for the wild.
Oh, gosh. Okay, you guys know we have the, tried and true Stanley here, which is pretty awesome. What you don't have, though, are our full focus stickers.
Yet. I don't have them there yet.
Yeti.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ken is bearing the lead, and I know we're talking about goals, but Ken is bearing the lead in how this happened. He didn't go buy this stuff.
No, we'll get into the content, but the people do need to hear this. And as I just am going to sit here and roll my eyes.
All right, we'll talk about that. You want to talk about it now?
We'll talk about it later. Let's get into the content.
I will say I do have a Yeti coffee mug.
You see, we love Yeti around here. I just wanted to show
Stanley,
everybody.
Come on. Come
42
through.
ounces. I needed the extra 2 ounces to reach my habit goal of drinking more water.
Well, I'm proud of you. Way to go.
Thank you.
Whatever it takes. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive in to the content. I don't know about you guys, but I am feeling the New Year energy. I am excited. One of my favorite things about this time of year is you do have that collective energy and you can feel it like it's palpable. And first of all, like, just want to encourage everybody, ride that wave. Like, this is the time to start fresh, to set new habits, to set new goals. And we're hoping today that we can encourage you, motivate you, and give you some tips on really how to kick off 2024 extremely strong. So, Ken, why don't you share us your first tip?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is create a smarter goal.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about this in a few episodes beforehand, so if you haven't watched that, go check it out. Nick, you could remind me on which episode it is, but we talk about the framework of creating a smarter goal. The big thing that I want to highlight on it is that you want to make sure that the goal is exciting and risky.
Yes.
Right? Like you have to come out of your comfort zone, and it's something that you're like, yes, I really want this. Like you want the change and you're willing to make the change. Because if you're not willing to do either one of those things, you're going to not end up finishing the goal.
It's so true. It's so true. And just as a reminder, you can go listen to that episode. I think it was called The Beginner's Guide to Goal Setting. It was just a few weeks ago. So if you haven't listened, go listen to that. But definitely Smarter Goal is the way to go.
Yep.
So love
All
that.
right, Marissa.
Okay. My first tip is to keep your goals visible. Now, we've talked about this before on a few different episodes, but to me, this really feels like the key to actually achieving your goals. It's so easy to create an amazing goal that you're excited about, that feels kind of out of your comfort zone. You're pumped, you're motivated. Obviously, it's January 1st. Everyone's motivated. And then like a week from now or 2 weeks or a month goes by and you've lost sight of it. Maybe you stopped going to the gym or you're trying to get out of debt and you just kind of forgot about it. And you're back in the whirlwind of just life. And to me, one of the best hacks that you can do is just keep your goals visible. So obviously, if you're a full focus planner user, this is really easy. It's right at the front of your planner. You can refer back to those on a daily, weekly basis, whatever feels good to you. I personally like to post them all over my house. Like I should essentially see them in every room in my house. So I've got it in my kitchen, on my refrigerator, in my bathroom. I've got it like taped up on my wall right next to my sink. I've got it in my living room where I sit every day. And so it's just a constant reminder of this is what I'm going for. And my subconscious brain is doing the heavy lifting for me in those moments. So definitely keep your goals visible, whatever. You can put it on a screensaver on your phone or on your computer, whatever is going to make you see them on a regular basis.
Yeah, I love that. I think when it comes to making it visible, that is probably where most people fail.
Yeah.
Right? Like when they don't have it visible, all of a sudden it's just like, what am I doing this quarter? What am I doing this week? It's like, look at it every day to make it accomplished.
Keep it in focus.
I love
for
it.
Sure.
All right. My next one is progress, not perfection. So if you want to crush your goals in 2024, focus on progress, not perfection. Here's what I mean. Many times you may make a risky, lofty goal. And in that goal, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to work out 5 times a week. And what ends up happening is the first week comes along and you don't hit it. You don't get the 5 times, you only get 3 times. And if you're a recovering perfectionist like I am, all of a sudden you're like, I have failed, I can't do this anymore. And you just give up on your goal week 1. Well, recognize that. Did you make progress? Did you do it 3 times? Because before 2024, you only did it once or you never did it. So focus on the progress. And, I think Dan Sullivan says, focus on the gain, not the gap, right? Where you're just saying, oh my gosh, I did amazing. I did it 3 times. Fantastic. When you are starting a new habit or a new goal, especially a habit goal, the thing I want people to focus on is not just like, hey, I've hit the perfection of the 5 or whatever number you hit. It's how can you ramp up to it? Yeah. So maybe week 1, you're like, I'm going to work out twice. And then week 2, you work out 3 times. And then week 4, you work out 4 times. Like you progressively add to it so that you feel like, man, I am succeeding and you're getting the wins versus trying to do something that you might not be comfortable doing yet.
Yes. And one of the things that I try to tell myself is it, obviously doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're talking about something like a habit goal or specifically like health goals, you're talking about working out. On those days when I feel like I don't have the time or I don't have the energy to do a full on, whole thing, I just say, what can I do that's something? Like something is better than nothing, even if it's 5 minutes and I will just walk around my block or I do some light stretching, before bed because that's all I have time for, 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I think that one of the things my mom has said to me for pretty much my whole life is don't let the best be the enemy of the good. And this is exactly what you're talking about. Like sometimes you need to let good be plenty.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. And that is a huge key. And, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you miss a day, don't say, well, I failed. I just can't do anything. I heard somebody one time talk about this in the context of like a car. If you were to get a flat tire, you wouldn't go and pop all 3 other tires just because you had one flat. You're like, well, one's gone. Might as well, make the other 3 flat.
Or get rid of the car. You're like, all right, I'm out.
I'm out. This whole thing's broken. No, you fix the tire that's broken and you keep going. And I think that that's the thing here is don't let that one day that you miss or that, few days or whatever it is, don't let that ruin the whole thing. Just pick back up the next day and keep going.
Love it. Love it.
All right. My next tip is something that's going to have to be bleeped out. We are a family-friendly show here, but Nick's going to do his editing power. But the phrase is 99% is a bitch, 100% is a breeze.
My innocent ears.
Yes.
Couldn't find a better way to say it.
Sorry. Y'all know I'm an
It's
Enneagram
the only way to say it.
It's the only way to say it. It was only a matter of time.
Go hard.
It's a new year, right? We're gonna bring it out.
If we're not careful, Ken, we're gonna get all kinds of like trolls from that guy's fan base coming over here.
I can't wait. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, great. Just more eyes.
More eyes.
So this concept, 99% is a 100% is a breeze. The whole concept here is that if you are 99% committed to something, you have that 1% that is not committed or that's not all in. That is going to make the rest of your 99% feel so difficult, like you're going through mud. We know this. If you've ever tried to implement a habit goal or cut something out of your diet that maybe you like, I might be looking at you, Ken. I know you try to cut out sugar a few times.
I'm succeeding right now.
If you give yourself that 1% of wishy-washy energy,
yep.
It's going to be horrible. It's going to be so much harder. But if you say, I am 100% all in on this, no questions asked, there is no sugar in my future for the, next 30 days or whatever you're trying to accomplish, then it immediately takes the decision making out of the equation. You no longer have to make that decision. And if you've ever done something like this, you know that 1%, every single day, it forces you to make your decision and make that commitment again and again and again and again. It is exhausting. And your brain will be exhausted from that energy that it'll ultimately quit, and you'll give in. You'll be like, well, I'm at a party and there's cake here, or, well, it's just, it's been a really busy day. I don't think I can get that walk or that workout in, or, well, I might as well just go ahead and buy this thing because it's on sale, even though I'm trying to get out of debt. But now is the time. But if you're 100% committed, and this is my encouragement to all of you who are listening, do not let that 1% of just wishy-washy energy sabotage your goals. Go all in. Be 100% committed. I also heard my trainer that I listened to or watch her videos. She said, are you going to be invested or are you going to be interested? And I think that is such a good reminder. Those are two totally different energies that can kind of feel the same on the front end, but the follow through is totally different. Yeah. So my encouragement is go 100% in, be all in, no questions asked. You are committed to these goals through the end.
Yeah. The other day as a team, we were all having lunch, and we on occasion share the goals that we're trying to accomplish. So everybody knew that I have a weight goal that I was trying to hit, the sugar goal that I was trying to get rid of. And Megan throws a little chocolate piece at me. And she's like, come on, Ken, it's just one thing. And I was getting ready to open it. And Marissa was like, well, you're never going to hit your goal eating that.
I slapped it out of his hand, which was kind of overkill. But the point was, you committed, be all in.
Yeah, she's right. And then I was like, dang it, she's right. And so then I threw her back into the thing, and Megan just kept egging me on.
Yeah. She was like the little devil on your shoulder,
And I was like, I'm so weak when it comes to sugar.
So easy. I don't know who isn't. So it's biology. We'll blame it on that.
Yeah. Okay. So my next one, my last one to crush your goals for 2024 is focus on what you can control.
Yeah.
And I think this is huge and you alluded to this just now, so many times we will make excuses based off of circumstances.
Yeah.
And we start to justify in our minds, well, because of this that's happened, or because I had a long day at work or whatever, you start to just make these excuses and be like, I can do this. But no, you actually still have complete autonomy over yourself and the power to say no to certain things or yes to what you want. So focus on what you can control. I try really hard not to think about what others are thinking about me or what goals I'm trying to achieve, in the sense of I'm just going to stay focused on this is what I want. I'm going to go pursue that.
Totally. Well, and I think this is where having a strong why or a strong reason is really important for your goals, because if you don't have that, there are going to be really hard days. You're going to, at some point hit the messy middle where you feel like you're too far in to go back, but you don't feel like you have enough energy to keep going to the end. And that why is going to push you through. Or on those really difficult days when you feel like everything's out of control and there's no way that you can, keep going on your goal, having that sense of, no, like this is for me. This is something that I genuinely want because of X, Y, and Z. And that's going to push you through the finish line.
Yeah. I think the other day, Michael Hyatt sent us a meme or something. He was at a conference and he talked about Dan Sullivan again, right? So talking about like play the cards you have to win.
Yes.
Don't make the excuses. I don't remember the exact thing, but don't make the excuses. I wish I had these other cards. I think about is how many times we look at ourselves and we're trying to accomplish a goal and we're like, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Right. Like, let's talk about health goals for a second. You might be like, oh, I wish I had this type of trainer. I wish I had this type of gym membership. And you make all these kind of things. And it's like, no, but you can still get to your goal with what you have right now.
Totally.
So this is why I always want people to focus on what do you have and do the best you can with what you got because you can get there.
And nobody is like forcing you to do this.
Yeah.
Like you are the one who chose to go after this goal, or hopefully, if somebody is, telling you should do something, that's not a good enough reason to go after a goal. You're going to need a lot more intrinsic motivation than that. So nobody's forcing you. Like you chose this, and really get in touch with why that is and let that carry you on your hardest days and your most difficult days. And if you struggle, like you were saying earlier, if you miss a day or if it doesn't look exactly like you thought it would look, pick yourself back up the next day. Like each day is a new opportunity to change and figure out what will work in those difficult seasons or on those difficult days.
Yeah. And that's what I love about even the SMARTer goal framework, right? Going back to that, where we are putting a self-imposed deadline.
Right.
Right. But there are times that deadline may change.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Like give yourself the freedom and grace to be like, it's okay. It has to move. Now find out why, right? Like sit down and be like, okay, you know what? Next time I realize that I messed up here. I'm going to do better. But again, progress, not perfection.
Well, and this is why like we, in our Full Focus Planner, we have the weekly previews that is every single week your opportunity to review, like, how's it going?
Yeah.
And I just know personally for me, every single week, it's like if there's a goal that I'm trying to hit and I'm struggling, I am always talking about those things. Like my planner is not just for work. It is very much for personal goals and achievement. And so I am constantly like, well, didn't meal plan last week. And so therefore, like I ate out, 6 times or whatever it was.
That sounds awesome.
And yeah. And, that's in conflict with my goal.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, one of the things that we really, our goals should be helping us do is be more in alignment with who we really are, who we really are aspiring to be. And so I think that as you're looking at your life, obviously we've talked about this, there's things that you can't control. It's just part of it. But the things that you can control, figure out how to do those in a way, this is the relevant part of the SMARTer framework, where those things build up your life. They make it more rich. They make it better. They're not in conflict with what's actually going on in your life. And I don't know. I feel like this is really key, that your goals need to be exciting and motivating to you personally.
I love it. You're right. Which leads to the last point that you're going to give us.
Yes, which is recruit an accountability partner. I think this is often very overlooked, and people think, well, I've got all this motivation. It's January 1st. I can do it myself. And I'm going to tell you, in a few weeks, that motivation is going to die down.
Yep.
And you're going to start making those excuses. That 1% is going to start knocking at your door and saying, well, you can just have today off, or, well, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal if you do this thing. You don't have to follow through with that. And when you have an accountability partner, it enables you and encourages you to stay on the path that you've set for yourself. And so this could be anybody from your spouse. It could be your best friend. It could be a coworker. It could be a sibling. Whoever in your life you feel, number one, safe enough with to be vulnerable. We've talked about the vulnerability of goal setting. It's very vulnerable. It's important that you have someone in your life that you can actually be honest with about the whole process, like the ups and the downs. So not just on the good days and you're like, yeah, I did it. I did that thing that I said I was going to do. But on those really difficult days when you're struggling and you're like, man, I didn't do it today, or I'm struggling and I don't want to, can you help talk me back into it? You want somebody that you feel safe with, and you want somebody who you know is going to kind of give you a kick in the pants when you need it. And it doesn't have to be a forceful kind of, situation, but it needs to be somebody who will actually hold you accountable. Ideally, if you find somebody where you guys are striving after the same goal, that is the perfect situation. I've done this so many times. To me, like, honestly, I feel like if I don't have accountability, my chances of achieving my goals is like cut in half.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I go from 99% to like 42%.
Yeah, right.
I can find any way to make excuses, but when I know, like, I've been texting a friend of mine about the sugar goal or not eating sugar, I'm like, hey, day 7, day 9, day 10, day 11, And it's just like we're just keeping each other accountable and reminding myself, like, I am not going to eat sugar.
It really helps. I don't know, just having that person that at the end of the day, they're going to ask you, like, did you follow through or not? And ideally, again, it's a two-way street. You're doing the same thing with them. So it's kind of like the even playing field. And you're just encouraging each other ultimately. Again, you're encouraging each other to be more in alignment with what you are aspiring to be. And that's all we're doing here with goals.
I love it. So we'll give you 6 tips on how to crush 2024. As we wrap up our conversation today, I want us to take an action step. And that is for all of us to go into the Facebook community and post one of the goals. You don't have to share all of your goals, whichever one you feel most comfortable with, to go in and share your goal of like, here's the one thing that I want to accomplish. And I think the beauty is that you're going to see a glimpse of what you would get at your Best Year Ever live event that we'll talk about here in a minute. But here, what I would love for us is just to encourage one another. Like, whatever that goal is, you have people backing you up.
Yes.
So share in the Facebook community one goal that you're like, this is what I want for 2024. And if you can make it a smarter goal, great. If you need a little bit of help, just throw it in there. And I'm sure
I was going to say, like, this is a great opportunity too to get some awesome help. We have our team in there. We have our certified pros. Like, this is and obviously tons of seasoned full focus planner users who are familiar with our frameworks. They're so good at helping people craft goals. And so if you're needing some extra, like, help with how do I put this into a smarter framework, we can help you do that.
Yep. I will post something in the Facebook community and you guys could just leave all the comments there and just kind of go after it. But we're excited to see this happen and go for it.
I'm going to post one of mine. I don't know. I obviously haven't done my goals yet.
Yeah.
Like, we're waiting for your Best Year Ever live. I don't know what mine are. I definitely will have a health goal.
I will too.
I have a garden that I would really like to accomplish this year. And that's going to be a massive project. So there will be something around that. I don't know exactly what that'll look like.
That sounds so stressful. That's not one of my goals.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait. Yeah.
I know for sure there's a health goal. I would decide on the sugar goal again.
Are you going to go all in this time?
I am all in right now for December.
Good.
There's 2 cheat days in there.
Okay.
There's some parenting goals that I have.
Yeah.
There are 2 personal goals that I'm trying to decide on whether I'm going to do or not. And that's like my wife and I just talking about it and figuring it out. But I can't wait. I think next week we'll share our goals because we'll be right through the thick of your Best Year Ever or after your Best Year Ever. So we could share some of ours.
I know. I can't wait.
It would be great.
Oh, it's the best.
Now, if you're still wondering, like, I need more motivation, I think this is where you come to your Best Year Ever.
Yes.
And come to the event. Come join us. It's going to be in a few days.
Yeah, on Friday.
On Friday. We're going to be co-hosting. We're going to be emceeing.
I mean, this is, so just for those of you who've never attended, first of all, it's virtual. So wherever you are in the world, you can attend. It's also recorded. So for some reason, the time, it's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central. But if for some reason that time doesn't work for you, it will be recorded so you can watch it whenever is convenient for you and works with your schedule. We have over, I think, 3,000 people registered for this event. So I cannot wait to see how many people are there and interacting. The chat is super exciting. Like, you're feeling, it's January 1st. You're feeling this energy, this collective like motivation and fresh start. That is just like amplified at your Best Year Ever live. It is so exciting. And the best part is you leave the day on such a high note. You have all of your 2024 goals created. And not only that, but you have a clear action plan on how to go achieve those. So we're not going to let you walk away with just, okay, you've created your goals. Now what? you know exactly what your next steps are on every single one of your goals, which is amazing.
Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of people need, right? They're like, I kind of know what I have. I kind of know the goal, but like just sit down, take some time and get after it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing.
It's so fun.
Nick, are you going to be there?
Of course. It's I mean,
like,
I talked
that was
about
like an
this on
obligatory, of course.
No, I talked about this in the Christmas episode. My wife Ashley and I will be there, just doing it along with you guys. You guys are hosting,
Yes.
And so I'm very excited, very very excited. I got a new planner. I got a new blush planner. I've been waiting to use.
Ooh, I love that
There
planner.
it is.
It's so gorgeous.
It's just look. I'm matching it with this pencil, this like green.
Look at you.
I figured. Look at this.
Got your
So
double win hat on, crushing it.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, your Best Driver Live, it's happening January 5th. If you want to join us, you actually can come for free, which is amazing.
What?
It's
How do I not know about
normally
this?
$197, and you can get it free. If you can just buy a ticket if you want, but I would not do that. I would go ahead and get our goal setting course. And you get $100 off right now, that goal setting course, and a ticket to your Best Driver Live. So you get like $297 of free stuff when you buy that course, which is amazing. That way you've got the whole course for the rest of the year. You can access it at any time. There's a lot more content inside the course on habits. So if you're looking to install habits this year, if you've got a meditation habit or, exercise routine that you want to really get in the habit of, or reading or whatever it is, we've got you covered in that. And all you have to do is go to fullfocus.co/GS, goal setting, GS, I believe is the link. And that'll get you all the things. So we would love to see you there. I'm planning to set all my goals and get all ready for the new year. I cannot wait. And I think next week we're going to be talking about what goals we've actually created.
I love it.
So
it's going to be good.
And we will also be talking about specifically how to use your planner to achieve those goals. So we'll share some of our actual
Pro
legit
tips.
goals, and then we're going to talk about our pro tips to use the planner.
It's going to be awesome. I'm psyched.
Well, Happy New Year, 2024. Cannot wait to kick this off with you guys.
Yep. Nick is looking at me because he's like, wait a minute. We left it at a cliffhanger. He wants to know how I got the Yeti mug.
Oh yeah, that's
Right.
true. That's true. I feel like it's important to share. To share how this all came about.
All right, I'll give the context really fast, right? So, we were having a intensive here, so we had a whole bunch of business owners here in Franklin doing our life focus beta test for a product, and one of the gifts that were given was a Stanley mug, or Rambler, and everyone got one. Tumbler, sorry. Ooh, my bad, Stanley. Tumbler, and I got one, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so surrounded by a bunch of Stanleys here. And I texted the leadership team how, look, I have this Stanley, and my daughter was carrying around, and we were just kind of messing around. And then finally I was just like, I can't just be around Stanleys, and something in me just wanted to buck back. So I didn't take it the next day to the event. And one of the staff members like, where's your Stanley? I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not taking.
Oh my gosh. Are you sure you're not an Enneagram 4?
I'm all things to all people.
Okay.
So finally I emailed Yeti. I said, Yeti, I'm surrounded by a bunch of Stanleys. I need your help. Please, can you help me out? Send me a Yeti Rambler, and just kind of like, can you help me? That's all I did.
Yeah,
Hold on. I wanna wait. There's a specific line.
I was going to say, I feel like you need to read the email because it's pretty hilarious.
Says the title of the email is "Help me take down Stanleys in my company."
Wow. So aggressive.
I need your help. I'm surrounded by a bunch of 40-ounce Stanley mugs at my company. My co-host brags about it on our weekly podcast. I think it's time I fight back with a superior brand, you, the Yeti. It's time to take my co-host and these Stanleys down. Can you help? Will you sponsor me with your mug and some apparel? Let me show them that Yeti is greater than Stanley. And then says you can see her taunting me with her Stanley in any of our recent podcasts.
Yeah, and the best part was though that they were like, "Yeah, we'll give you some, but please don't say that you're sponsored by us." So you're ready to own them; they're not ready to own you.
I know,
You what
but that's
mean?
okay.
It's pretty
The
great.
whole purpose is just to taunt you.
And here I am today with my Yeti. So
Exactly.
Thank
So
you, Yeti,
this is
for
not an
sponsoring
official.
this podcast.
This is not an official sponsorship.
It's not.
Of Yeti.
We'll take it though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take Yeti. We
Yeah.
can get it.
Thanks for joining us on Focus on This.
This is the most productive podcast on the internet. So go ahead and share it with your friends and make sure to join us in the Full Focus Planner community on Facebook. We are going to be sharing goals there. We want to hear your goals. We want to encourage you. And if you need help, we would love to help you craft your goals. So come into the Full Focus Planner community for all your encouragement and 2024 goal setting.
Love it. We'll be here next week with another great episode. And like Marissa already mentioned, we'll be talking about all the pro tips we have on helping you execute your goals with the planner.
Yes. So until then, stay focused.